It says it's live.
Hi, everyone. You are so welcome. I'm glad to have you today. Today, we have a special guest, my beautiful friend and sister, Sanna Sofia. I met Sanna because we both started our personal development journey in 2018. And when I started mine, I didn't know that far away in Finland, there was a soft spoken, beautiful soul, Sana, who was also at the beginning of her own journey to self discovery, which enabled her unlock her inbuilt potentials to become her own best friend and her own hero. And for Sana and for me, we both discovered that the journey we had started, born from our pain and challenges, was the foundation to an open and growth mindset that will open the world for us. We became aware that we had taken back our power and also that the sky was no longer our limit but our springboard. And so we started attending world events, showing up and speaking out. And that is how we met in March 2022 in one of such events. Something you will never miss is the fact that meeting people who impact your life is never a coincidence. Absolutely. In the midst of a global audience of hundreds of people, we connected instantly because our experiences resonated on such a deep level. Our stories were unique yet very similar in so many ways. And so today we have the honor to have Sana with us today. So welcome, Sana.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. That was a lovely introduction. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me here.
So who is Sana? What all the things that I said, well, maybe it's better when you say it.
Do you mean Sanna now or Sanna the old Sanna, or what do you like?
Every Sana, we want to know every Sana.
Well, I would say that the old Sanna, the one that who was last, was a Sanna who was needing the world outside of her. Every single person. I loved life and loved people, but I was living a life through other people. So I spent most part of my life since I was a little girl. I started drifting away, like from my authenticity, and I believed, I trusted, and I loved everyone outside of me more than what I did myself, in a way where it wasn't, I forgot who I was until I had a second chance in life through challenging times, which it usually is. And you don't realize it when you are in the midst of everything happening, that it truly is a gift. And in 2015, that's when I started to turn around, but not consciously. That was a wake up time for me to understand that I was not in a healthy environment, and I needed to break free from unhealthy relationships. And it went 3 years that I was searching for help for the first time, just to heal and understand everything that I was experiencing. But then, and that was in 2015. But then in 2018, like you said, that was when I consciously began to understand that this is on me. It's not about healing from what's been on the outside. It's really about taking the ownership and wanting to figure and heal myself. And that shifted everything. So finding myself again, like, and really having this shift from needing people to and leaning on people that help me and save me, and I'm like freaking out here, like, what's happening, and who I'm like, leaning on others still, and thinking that I cannot do it on my own, to understand that actually, wait a minute, I'm starting to feel that maybe I know a little bit more than I thought, and something is inside of me, like ringing so loud, the inner voice that I had forgot, that I have to start to really listen to it and honor it, and that made all the difference. So it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey, no matter how bumpy it's been at times. Yeah. So that was like just like the foundation of it, and then a lot of things have happened afterwards. So
That's the beauty of every journey, because before we continue, let's acknowledge all the people that are in the chat. Crafty Leo, Nikki, Ed Variety, Black Guns and Gardens, Blasius Journey, and everyone in the chat, you are so welcome. They are sending you welcome, Sanna, and they are happy to have you. So you have all my community here to support you
oh,
and to
that's nice.
welcome you to this our space. So I'm really always so fascinated when we talk. Hi Odom, you are so welcome. When we met and connected, I was like, every time we talk, there's always something new that I learn. And today particularly, I really wanted you to share your experience with my audience, and because we have the generally everybody is trying to find themselves, and today the topic is how to know and connect with yourself. And I know that the people in the chat, if you have any questions, you can send them to Sana, or those who are going to watch the replay. I have Sana's coordinates in the description under this video. And so it's always a pleasure when we talk, and I have seen all the beautiful things that you do. Sana is a mindset coach and a graphic artist, besides being a wonderful mom and so many other things. And so, Sana, when was it that you knew that it was time to take action and change your life? If somebody is in the state now where they don't know how to start, how do they know that this is time?
I would say that it's I would not leave it as late as what I did. Like, I think that we hesitate so long, and we're like letting too long time, that we are like understanding that we are not feeling good, that we are not happy, but we are still like denying that it can be within us, that we are not believing that it's within us. It's so easy to say to everyone else that, oh, you can do it, and just keep on working on yourself. But for some reason, we have a difficult time believing that we can do it for ourselves. And I would just say that earlier on, and that's like my message, to understand that it is all in you. And if you don't believe in it, or it's you think it's not, then that you understand that you have to make the choice. You just have to make the choice that I will do whatever it takes, and however long it takes, to get to that point that I will believe, that I have to practice finding the answers, and practice believing in myself, that it is there in me, because it's in no one else than in you. And I think that I reached a point where I was just hurting so much with getting into relationships that were like failing, and then in 2018 I was just like, okay, that's it. And I got this in myself, that now I have to move, now I have to like just I have to just figure myself out, and I want to do it on my own. It was just something that was ringing so loud. I have had enough. So I was just like, now it's the time in 2018. But before that, I was like, too long time, 3 years, that I was just trying to have someone else from the outside fix me. And that is, I think, the biggest thing that I want to say, that don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of thinking that what I will find is not going to be a beautiful person, and there I cannot connect to anything, that I'm too broken, because that's how I thought. With all my past shame and guilt that I was carrying inside since I was little, that I thought that it's not possible, that there's no hope. But then to understand that there is, and the only way to get the joy and the inner peace and everything is to do that work till you connect with yourself. And that's the most natural connection. You cannot go wrong with it. So that's what I would say, because I think that the threshold is that we don't believe it. We go and get self-help in a way where it's temporary, like making us feel better, but we are like holding on to it. We are not trusting that we can actually process and get the answers for ourselves, and go and spend time in solitude and practice that, because that is also a practice to just learn to like your own company.
Absolutely. And if you would want to even hear it again, you are not alone. I have passed through that stage too, where I was dilly dallying. I didn't know how to take my responsibility. And many people are also passing through that now. And so, what was the first step that you took when you decided that, okay, this is the moment? What first step did you take?
Uh, the first step, you know what? That's a really good question. And for me, for me, it was just to make sure that the environment I am in, that I make it as safe, as positive, as encouraging. And for me, it was about needing to make a lot of room for quiet my environment, because there was so much noise. For example, this was like what I did. I had no TV. I had a social media break. I needed that, because that was a very toxic environment for me. I knew that I wasn't using it in a way where it was helpful. It was actually using me, and it wasn't a healthy environment. So to take a break from it, for me, to find out who I was, and to just practice being in silence with myself, spending time in nature, and having a home that had quite little noise, was so new to me. But I needed that, because I had to learn to relax in my own company. That was my first thing, was to learn to relax, because I could not have sat down for more than 5 minutes without jumping up and doing something. Even watching a movie, I was horrible. My kids were like thinking that, oh my God, could you sit down? Like, I was like, oh, I have to do the dishes. Okay, I'll come back. Because I could not relax into my own company if I didn't have something there to relax me from the outside. That was my first step, and just to practice it.
Absolutely. That's really beautiful. Thank you, Drena's Heaven. I am really, it's not only an excellent topic, but we have an excellent invitee who has captured all of her thoughts in one single book. And I will tell you, this book has a blueprint of the steps that you need to take. When I read the book for the first time, I was like, okay, I had known Sanna and we had really worked together. We had collaborated in a few projects together. But reading the book was a different level, because each chapter has real soul searching questions that can help you. And guys, it's really like this is a blueprint for me. And so I'm going to give Sanna a surprise.
Oh, yay!
I'm going to give Sanna a surprise. This is a video I did in July. And so close to 8 billion people on earth, 3/4 struggling to discover who they are. 3 categories. Those who have read the best is yet to come. Those who are reading the best is yet to come. And those who will read the best is yet to come. Sanna, the author, takes you through a rediscovery journey. Using deep, soul-searching questions and illustrative exercises, she reconnects you with inbuilt answers that elevate you to your authentic, loving self. You become your own best friend and your own hero or shiro. With this foundation, your life is more intentional and you make conscious choices. She ends with a selfless gift to the reader, a passionate love letter, which provides a blueprint for the standards you deserve with a firm conviction that the best is yet to come. In which category do you want to be? Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, or those to whom things happen? Buy the best is yet to come to clarify your journey and become your best version. You can get
Oh, Mary, I love that. Thank you so much. That's just awesome.
I was like, okay, let me surprise her. And
Oh.
the description to the Amazon link is below the video. So
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. That's
so
so
it's
nice of you.
it's it's as good as that, and that's how I felt when I read that book and when we connected in so many other events. I decided to make that video because that's exactly how I felt. And most importantly, people don't know that everything is within them.
Mm.
And we always keep looking outside until we get frustrated, we
Mm.
get discouraged. Meanwhile, everything is within us. And I'm so glad that you are sharing your journey with us, because sometimes when we see people who have done it, it gives
Mm.
us more courage
Yeah.
to know that we have to know that it's the chat that is carrying me away.
Yeah,
We have
yeah,
to
I
know
know.
that instead of going all the way everywhere looking for the things that will make us be us, we have all of them in us. And we just need to be intentional to dig deep within us and to find the answers. And I'm really happy when you said you have to find time to be on your own, or to
Mm.
just time to calm down. And well, I'm not going to be talking too much today because you have all the golden nuggets. And so apart from those, or besides the questions that people will ask themselves, what other tools do you recommend? There are the questions, and then you find the calm with you. Something else that people can, if you cannot find that calm, because at that moment you don't even know what to, what to do.
Yeah, but it's gradually the finding the calm, right? For me, it was a process of over a year. And what I did was, for me, that worked was guided meditations. I could not sit still for very long, but to find on YouTube or anywhere where you can find and look for it, keep on looking, find. It can be nature. There's so many, so there's bound to be like something that is good for you. There's nature sounds, there's different people with different voices. And that's what I will say that is super important, to voice. Find someone that has a voice that you feel safe with, comfortable listening to, and that you can relax into. And this is what happened with me. First, I was listening to it. It kind of like I wanted to have a good voice and pleasant voice, a sound maybe in the background that is making me a little bit relaxed. I couldn't take in everything, but I fell asleep many times. That was first step, and it was amazing. I fell asleep. Then I started to listen a little bit more, and I could relax. Then it became a routine every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day when life was happening. And gradually, you know what? I could begin to actually then meditate on my own. I could get the I started. This is the thing that I could not. I had no gap between thoughts. I had absolutely no gap between thoughts. I didn't even think I could think the way I think now. So I encourage to just have the patience to keep on practicing and to know that you will get there, but you have to give yourself time, and relaxing is the key. So if you're frustrated that, oh, it should be quicker, or what's wrong with me, then you're already not relaxed, you're going the other side. So just calm down and think that it might take me a year, it might take me a little bit longer, but I will get there in my own time, because my healing journey is unique to me. I am not supposed to compare it. And another thing I will say, that don't try to replace the fear with excitement, in that you are practicing curiosity, that you, if you feel like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me or what I want in life, which was, I had all these questions, then to just start that, hey, I am going to find out and I am going to find out what I want. It's all waiting for me, and it's going to be amazing when I get there. Now I feel like this because I haven't been the true self. When I'm connected, it's going to be the most amazing natural connection ever. If I haven't yet found it, then I have to keep on going until I get there. That's how it is. And it's
Absolutely. I am so like every time I'm doing my videos, I always tell people it's a gradual process. It's not an easy thing to change your habits or to change a lifestyle. You have to go gradually, and you have to be compassionate with yourself. Give yourself the grace and the understanding, the sympathy to take your time. You give sympathy and grace to your friends or to your family. Practice giving yourself that grace and that sympathy. And one of the things that you talk about a lot is taking responsibility. Can you share something about the role of taking responsibility for your
yeah.
life?
Well, I think that we are so afraid of it. We're so afraid of it because we firstly want to get things right. We're afraid of, like, what if we get it wrong? And also, if we have not, if we've been afraid, like I used to be afraid, I found it was safety to have somebody else to choose for me or to tell me what to do, because then I didn't have to take responsibility, and I thought that I don't know the answers, so it's safer. But I never felt safe because it was always somebody else, like they're kind of controlling, but I gave it away. So it was on me. That was my first responsibility, to take the ownership, that, okay, now I have to practice it. And then to understand that even in the beginning, if it feels just like uncomfortable, it's the best thing you can ever do, because you practice it, and honesty is the key. You have to be 100% honest with yourself, no matter what has been, no matter what it is. Because if we think of like a good friend, and you have to be the best support to yourself, isn't honesty is like the first key ingredient you want? So every time you hide or deny whatever is, you will always feel it, because you're going against the truth, and that always makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable. So just to don't be afraid of it, because you know what? Once you start to take ownership, then you understand that it doesn't matter. It's a part of life to try different things, and then we do many things that are, we understand that, oh, this was not a good idea, but we learn from them. And if we don't do them, then they will be like in the unknown, and we're like, uh, I'm kind of interested to know, but it annoys us that we don't test it. We need to test, and then we're like, okay, now I know this wasn't for me, so I try something else. And once you take the ownership, you feel safe in that way, because it's you. You're not anymore like leaning on someone else to direct your life. And that makes you, trust me, it makes you feel safe, even if it's first is a little bit scary, might feel, but you start to trust yourself the more you go. And you start to understand that you really are so capable, and you're so super like um, wise within you to know then, like, you know, that, hey, this is something that really feels like me now. And I tried, I'm so happy I tried it. And even the ones that you think that are failures or not good for you, just celebrate that too, that now you at least know. And now you won't go there anymore, that that wasn't for you, you know. So yeah. Oh.
Absolutely. I'm so really like each time it's always about you. And you said it right. The competition is with you. You are not competing with somebody. It's with you to become a better person every other day. And Drena says, so true. We have to be honest with ourselves. And that's not always easy, but it is attainable. Honest with yourself, it's something that we have to start with, because if you don't really take the right diagnosis, you might not get the right medication. And so you have to pin the problem, call it by name, even if it's as hard as it can be. And Marlene says it's hard to face ourselves in the mirror. We have to believe in and love ourselves. Absolutely. And that brings us to the second, the another level. How do you love yourself when you feel all that guilt and it is so difficult to forgive yourself?
Hmm. First, I want to say that amazing comments. You have good audience here. But like, I like the ones that they said, really good comments that you read. Uh, well, here's the thing. I think that if we talk about honesty, that's the first thing, and it's really hard. I've been there. I've said to myself in the mirror that I don't love myself. I went to that point and I denied it. I never had done that before. I was like, oh my God, I don't believe myself. I don't love myself. And I was like so upset in one point early in the journey. But then I made a decision, just like when I had that I will do anything to figure myself out, and just like I have to take ownership of myself. One of them was that I have to learn to love myself. So one extremely uh, powerful, and this is so like game changer, is to affirm to yourself that I love you through a mirror. I love you, I believe in you, and I'm proud of you. These three sentences are so important, because if you think of it, is there any other sentences that you would have wanted to hear since growing up, from people who's been in your life? That I don't think there is any uh, more any other three sentences that I needed to hear, and still they like makes you feel in a way when you hear them from anyone who you love or is in your life. It really makes a difference. So those three are amazing to practice. And the first thing is the honesty, to acknowledge that, hey, I am not where I should be with myself. And with the mirror thing, you do it until you would never even play with the idea that you want to change the person who is reflecting back in the mirror. That's, there is no like, even you don't even think of it. It's just that I belong with myself and I would not change you for anything. That you understand that it's everything happening through you, and that's how it is, and it shouldn't be in any other way. And yeah, but
Absolutely. And so when you already have decided to find yourself, why is it so difficult to forgive yourself? Meanwhile, you forgive every other person. How can somebody really embrace that? Because that's a big challenge for most of us to forgive
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. Well, here's the thing, that compassion is like self-compassion. That is something that we have to give ourselves. And here's a extremely powerful just practice for you. I want you to know, if you have any guilt or shame, or you're carrying something that you cannot let go with yourself, and you're being too hard on yourself, holding yourself back, because it's always in us in the end, right? We have to forgive others, but in the end we have to forgive ourselves. Even if others forgive us, we have a tendency to not forgive ourselves anyways. So to just notice, with the past, you acknowledge one few things. First of all, uh, you have done your best with the tools and the awareness level that you have had during any given time in the past. Because if you would have been more aware and you would have other tools to operate, you would have done it in a different way. And then, secondly, to remember how far you have already traveled. All your challenges, whatever have taken place, no matter how horrible it has been, you have survived it all. Look how strong you have become, because you have gone through everything, and there's a reason why you have gone through everything. Even if you don't understand what it is yet, just trust the journey. And this is the most important thing. When you feel guilty, when you feel like that you wish you could take back time, and you're being hard on yourself, that I wish this didn't happen, I wish I could go and make things better, and change things, that already is an indication that you have a super good heart, that knows what's right and what's wrong, because you want to go and fix it. So celebrate that you are so loving, that it bothers you that much, that you wish you could, but you can't. So that is your then sign to forgive yourself. Because think of this, if you had a friend or someone you love who is holding all that pain that you're holding on to, and they're like, I cannot forgive myself, wouldn't you hug them and say that now it's time, that come on, it's in the past? You give yourself that. You give yourself that support.
Absolutely. This is so, I love all the tools that you are giving out to us to help us. And Jenna says, we are so hard on ourselves. God forgives us when we ask. Therefore, we should forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
That is so, so important. And it's really interesting. But that's something that you have to work on, because it doesn't, like we have seen, it doesn't come automatically, because we tend to really expect too much from us, and we give grace to other people. And that's why it's always good to really celebrate ourselves. That's something that we don't practice. I don't know, how do we get to how do you just decide to celebrate yourself? Is there something you can do, or you just decide to celebrate yourself? How did you go about it, learning how to celebrate yourself?
Um, well, like you mentioned, everything takes time. And we have to remember that this is like, for me, this has been years, right? It's been years of practice. And to give yourself the time and ditch the time frame that there has to be a certain like goal, that this is like when it comes to healing and personal development, There is no, it's ongoing, the process. And one way to just, the first thing is to become aware. Honesty is always the first step in every single, like whatever we are working on. It's always, you begin with honesty. And then just practice becoming, getting to know yourself. So being honest with, where are you really hard on yourself? Where are you having that dialogue where you are like really uh, being hard on yourself, maybe talking down on yourself, or you're holding yourself back? And then you start to become conscious of it, and then stop yourself and switch it around. You find the opposite. So you have to start kind of practicing your mind to, even if you still are not believing in it, you just stop yourself and understand that, oh my God, now I again talk down on myself or had this like negative thoughts, that what is the opposite of it? If I, for example, would be like procrastinating and I have it like, oh my God, now I'm again this like lazy or something. And then I was like, oh, I won't say that to myself. And what is the other word for it? Then it's a productive. So then I write that for me as almost like an affirmation, and I start practicing it and reinforcing that what, where I want to go, acknowledge it, and then you can affirm it, just like with the sentences I love you, and that you affirm it in the mirror, like just make a lot of them, like, and celebrate yourself with the little things. Give yourself time to do something that you really enjoy, because we so often put ourselves last. So you just start to take time for yourself. You are worthy of it. You need that time for yourself. Uh, that is not selfish, because when you take care of yourself and do things that bring you joy, that will reflect on everyone outside of you. So you are actually doing everyone a favor. And when getting to know yourself, have fun with it. Really, think of it like you would go on a date with yourself. For example, to the movies. I always went and watched any. I was like, I don't mind what we go and watch. I don't mind. You can pick. Of course, I minded. Everyone has a preference. So when I went by myself first, I was like, I don't want to go alone on a movie. And I was like, wait a minute. There's like 10 movies. I can go and watch anyone I want. And then, I loved it. So just have fun with it. It's a little bit weird in the beginning, but then start laughing at yourself. It's super fun, like, honestly.
Absolutely. Jenna says, put it down and avoid the temptation to pick it back up again. We can be our own worst enemies sometimes.
Hmm.
And Nikki says, that is so true. Because we always expect so much from ourselves and we give other people the grace. No, it's okay, but we don't give ourselves that very grace. And it's something that we really learn and practice. And we practice progressively to make it a habit. And so I really like when you talk about all of these things, how is it that we don't know ourselves? We're coming down to self-awareness.
Hmm.
What are some of the tools that people can really use to know themselves? Or how can you really begin to know yourself and love yourself so much that you become your own best friend?
By spending time with yourself. That is really the key. You have to, because we escape ourselves. And that really means that you make time for yourself to practice being in, like, having a surroundings that is not distracting you from that, you are doing something simultaneously, even if you're alone. That was something I did for 2 years. I escaped myself in it. I was alone, but I wasn't, because I was doing all the time something or listening to something. But I would say that that is the only way that you get to know yourself, and learn to relax, is to gradually just take a little bit time. Nature is an amazing place to go and have also the surrounding helping you, because we are connecting back to our own true nature, and nature is part of us. So just to be out in the nature, and may it be like in walking in the forest or close, wherever you are, to just go, and that helps a lot also in learning to relax, that we do that. And just to really, in everything, to give time. You have to give time, and like you said, grace. It's not easy always. It's not easy always. So all emotions, like you need to cry and let it out. Just that all is part of it. That's all part of it. You have those times, and that's all part of the journey. We have to go through all the phases of it. So allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to feel everything and to experience everything, but just know that the most amazing connection is there waiting for you, and your relationship with yourself is the most important one for you, even if you don't believe it. But to just really remember that, or to just trust that you keep on going till you get there, and then you will understand that, oh my god, now it begins. Everything, so it is the most amazing. It's like home. It's like it's like the feeling where you meet someone and you can be completely yourself. You have these connections where you're like, oh my God, somebody makes you feel so like that you just relax into it. That's like you always know this person. Well, that's how you feel with yourself, but you don't never lose it. Once you connect, you won't, it just is like, just, I cannot even describe it. I didn't know it was possible, but it is. And I know it's like for each one of us, because we are who we are, and that's it.
Absolutely. So we are every for the people in the chat. If you have any questions for Sana, please you can type them in the chat, and Sana will be happy to answer the questions. And so we are talking about how to know and connect with yourself. And Sana is the beautiful author of this book, The Best Is Yet to Come. For you to love yourself, to believe in yourself, and to be proud of yourself, and to be your own best friend. Sana, the problem sometimes, and I experience it, is resistance. I start and then I fall back. I start these good habits and then I fall back. And for the people out there who have the same problem with me, how do you overcome resistance?
Well, even there, it's just to remember to give the grace and the time, right? Because me too, it was a gradual like thing. I had I've had a lot of resistance, and I had to kind of begin again and begin again. But the key thing is to begin again. That's the key thing, and to really uh, have this kind of like mindset that you are finding a routine for yourself, a system for yourself that feels like you. And even if it feels challenging at time, which it should, because we need also that. We need to have that. Otherwise, we would be super bored. But we still choose to execute whatever we have taken as part of our life, because we know that it makes us feel, it strengthens our sense of who we are, and it's good for us. That's like the thing that I would say, that keep on going, because for me it took a long time to create certain routines, because there's so much to choose from. And I think that's where we get overwhelmed, because the world is so full of people saying this is the best thing, this is the best thing, try this, there's this system, there's this method and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, just take whatever feels like, this really feels like me. It can be one thing from there, one thing from there. You don't have to fall into buying a whole package of things and think, so what's wrong with me? Because all these things, steps don't resonate with me. Step 3 and step 5 and step six are not at all like, I don't like it. You don't have to. And I think that was my key problem in the beginning, because I was like giving in again the power that one person should know everything how it should be for me. But it's not like that. It's for you to have this, that you're finding your way of, this is me, and this is how this works for me, this routine. And this is the tools that I need. If I start to have resistance, then I know that I need to, this will help me if I go for a walk for 20 minutes, or if I do this, or then if I speak to myself, have this dialogue, or do this journaling, and or give myself 20 minutes break, and then I get back to it. You find your own ways and keep on searching for them. And you can always change them too, when you overcome something, and then you want maybe something else. To just have that you're all the time evolving, and that's the key thing, that you keep on searching for what feels like you and is good for you, and you know in your heart what is good for you and not.
Absolutely. I really like it when you say you have to find your own way, because we always want to copy things and paste. Meanwhile, like they always say, even if you are modeling success, you have to adapt to your circumstances before replicating. So it's not copying and pasting, you are finding your own way. I'm so happy that you talked about it. And like having a conversation with you, I can't just let you go without you telling us about owning your no, the power of saying no and not feeling guilty, because that is some real thing that stops us from connecting with ourselves, because we want to say yes, yes, yes to everybody.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that is so important, especially if you're an empath and you're a people pleaser, and you are going like I used to go like that. You give your personal power, yeah, to everyone else, and find kind of the safety in others telling you, and um, you also want to be there for others, because you have this tendency to nurture and take care of others, but to know that it should never go on behalf of your own well-being. And to remember just three things. One is energy, and that is that you have a certain amount, like everyone else has energy for daily, like, when you wake up, you have a certain amount of energy. To just become aware of it, that you cannot be for everyone everywhere at the same time. And even if we're not at the same time, how often are we like uh, guilty being somewhere and we should be in three different other places? To just understand that your energy is everything, and for you to be the best support and the help that you want to be for others, you have to take care of your first. uh, that's like a must. So when things go against your values, your beliefs, you don't want to do something, it doesn't feel right for you, uh, or you feel guilty, you say yes because you feel guilty, then you have to start practice saying no. Because every time you say yes to something that is doesn't feel good, or there's guilt, you're saying no to yourself and to all the things that you really want to do and the people you really want to do. And then the second thing is that you lead by example. So again, you want to take care and you want to be there for others. You want to be the help and support. But if you keep on going and sacrifice yourself in that way, that you're not taking care of your own energy and you're always giving in to others, and you're not doing the things that are important to you, or being with your family or friends that you want to be, you always say yes to a boss, for example, and stay overtime, then everyone who is in your life will model it or see it, they will witness it. So you are leading by example in that way, that you might want to look like you are doing a favor and being super kind and sacrificing or like helpful, but there are those who will see that you always give in. And if it's your children, like I understood, for myself, I was like, oh my God, if they never see me say no to things and I always give in, that's away from me, my presence doing things that I really want to do and be with my children. And then they might look after me and do the same and always say yes to everyone and say no to their things. Or then you might get people who will take advantage of it. And they say, oh, she always says yes. Oh, I'm going to ask her, like, all the time. So to understand that. And then there's also the best friend thing, which we mentioned, that when you have a dilemma and you face that a situation where you want to say no, but you feel like guilty that you should say yes, then you address the situation like how it is, honesty again, that I don't want to say yes to this thing, that somebody is asking me to go somewhere, for example, to a party, and I really don't want to because I don't feel like myself in the environment, but you feel guilty because maybe it's family and they're like, you have to come there. So then what you do is that you write down the situation, how you feel and why, and then you picture that it would be a friend who comes to you with that situation and says that, hey, I have this party and I really don't want to go there because I always feel like crap afterwards, and I feel so guilty because it's family or stuff. And then you give the support. You think that it's a friend who has this dilemma. What do? You should say that, hey, you have to look after yourself. Don't go there. It's your family, but your health comes first. So if it drains you and you feel like a week sad after it, don't go there. Don't go there. And then you apply it to yourself. There's your answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
but it's
really
so
like, yeah, no, go ahead.
yeah. I was just gonna say that it's so crazy that we are the best support to everyone else. It comes easily, but then for some reason we are like being really hard on ourselves and hesitating in saying no when we really should, and we don't understand the impact that it actually is not just us, it actually is impacting others too. And to become aware of it is a superpower. It really is, and a practice. It takes time. Give it time.
Absolutely. Because it's so challenging because we are more used to like doing things for everyone else. We don't really even consider that we deserve some
Mm.
of those things. We don't even think that we deserve love. We don't think that we deserve some of the things that we give, go out of our way to give it. I used to be like that. I used to always feel guilty when I said no, when I really had to say, when I say, if I had to say no to something that was against my values, but I decided to just say yes because I want to please the person. Meanwhile, I was really doing harm to myself. I really
Mm.
had to learn that, especially when I heard the statement, for your yes to have power, you must learn how to use your no. Because if you are just yes, 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 your no doesn't have power. And so sometimes it's so difficult, but like you say, it's something that we can practice. I really love when you say we have to do the affirmations of I love you, I believe in you, and I am proud of you. I think for me, that's the real
Mm.
foundation. When you are proud of yourself and you love yourself and you believe in yourself, you can say no. You can say no at any time without blinking or without even thinking that you're going to hurt somebody. Hi, the educated natural. You're so welcome. Today's topic, we were talking about how to know and connect with yourself. And I had the privilege to have my beautiful friend, the author of this very, very beautiful book, The Best Is Yet to Come, where she really explores the necessity for you to find that journey back into you, discover you, and do you, because you always have good things coming when you focus on yourself. And I'm going to really I like this clip. It's not the best, but I really want to share it with you again. I did it in July. Close to 8 billion people on earth, three quarters struggling to discover who they are. Three categories: those who have read the best is yet to come, those who are reading the best is yet to come, and those who will read the best is yet to come. Sanna, the author, takes you through a rediscovery journey. Using deep, soul-searching questions and illustrative exercises, she reconnects you with inbuilt answers that elevate you to your authentic, loving self. You become your own best friend and your own hero or shiro. With this foundation, your life is more intentional and you make conscious choices. She ends with a selfless gift to the reader, a passionate love letter, which provides a blueprint for the standards you deserve, with a firm conviction that the best is yet to come. In which category do you want to be? Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, or those to whom things happen? Buy the best is yet to come to clarify your journey and become your best version. Thank you so much. I'm always like, this is really
Thank you.
so juicy. That's not the
Oh.
best clip. That's not the best clip, but I really so.
I love that, Mary. I'm so like that. That is
Thank
so
you,
amazing.
the educated natural. I tell you that book, this
Thank
book,
you.
the beauty of this book is all the questions that will guide you along the journey, because it's like a workbook. It's not like a novel that you read. It's like a workbook with a lot of questions that will help you to reconnect with yourself and become your own best friend. How can you know and connect with yourself? You have a lot of questions and a lot of exercises that you can combine to really facilitate your journey, because it's a journey and sometimes we really need a push, we need a guide.
Mm. Mm.
Because Sana is a mindset coach, she is a graphic artist, and she has the book, she has courses that she offers, and I'm really blessed to have her share with us today in this community. Please, if you have any questions, you can ask Sana, or any comments to make, you can make. And I'm really blessed that all of you are here. And
Yeah.
even for those who are going to watch the replay, I thank you so much. Sana, you can't go without telling us. Sana is in Europe, so now it's night for her. And she, thank you so much for sacrificing. Tell us about this love letter to yourself, because we are used to writing letters to people.
Yeah. Well, the letter I knew before the book was written. I knew when I had thoughts about writing a book. Uh, it was a year and a half before it was written. I knew that the letter was going to be there. I knew that. And it's kind of in the beginning too, but in the end, I knew it was going to be there. And the thing with the letter is that it's personal to me in that way, that when I was a little girl, I wrote letters all the time. That was my thing. I wrote a diary to myself and letters even to myself. But then I wrote to my friends. I gave them everyday letters where I said how much I loved them and how much they meant to me. Like I wrote, that was my thing. And I had pen pals. Letters were my thing. I had like many pen pals from all over Finland. It was crazy. But the letter is really, a, it really is a guide for you to whenever you feel that I need just to have a voice and you feel alone. that you can read it for yourself to just get over any moment. And it really truly is like from my heart. I have written a similar letter for myself because I didn't have that voice that I wanted. So I really wrote down the words that I also need to read for myself. So it really is something that I 100% believe in. It's my heart, it's my whole belief system that it's for you whenever you feel stuck or alone, or that you don't feel that it's, you're questioning the whole journey and yourself, to just take the time and read it. It's meant, every single word is meant for you to like take it to yourself and to read it as many times till you believe in them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We have some questions in the chat. One Love Renovation says, how do you stay in the state of joy? And he has a second question, what drives us to feel so lost and hopeless sometimes? So I don't know which one you want to start with.
Uh, well, I can take the first one. It's a matter of choice, right? So I also have the umbrella of all the feelings. I have times when I feel really like pain too, and it's just a matter of practicing. I know that the other side is there, and to embrace it, and to really honor your feelings. So when you are not in that place yet, or you are feeling resistance, or feeling low, to accept it and to allow yourself that time, but to understand that other side of it is waiting. Everything is momentary. And to I would say the other question there was that yeah, when we feel lost and hopeless, to understand that even in the midst of when we don't understand that why is this happening and nothing makes sense, to have then the faith and just trust that it will everything is has like a meaning. And it sometimes we need to travel like a certain way with like challenges and things happening that might feel like, I cannot handle it, but you are just as strong as you have to be, and everything is meant for you to overcome, and the other side is there waiting for you. And this is something that I want you to know, that the more uh, the challenges you have had and everything, the contrast of things when you get through them, and everything that's waiting for you when you overcome them is going to feel so amazing. And you are truly uh, as you have no idea how resilient, or because you already got through every single hurdle. And that's something that we have to acknowledge, that we forget all the times when we thought, how many times have we been in situations like, I'm never going to get through this, how am I going to get through this? So many times, and we so easily forget that we have been many times in situations, and how strong you have become, how resilient. And you will get through everything. Everything is momentarily, and there is the best is yet to come, because you are evolving all the time. And once you connect with your heart and your true like authenticity, you make that connection, and you have that relationship with yourself, where you can look in the mirror and acknowledge that I love her, I love him, and I would never change. You don't play with that idea. Then you that you will understand that how it is. And when the road is still to go there, to know that that is waiting for you there. It's not going anywhere. It's waiting for you. So that is like what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. I am really so grateful. And You have shared a lot of golden nuggets on how to take responsibility, how to forgive yourself, self awareness, and how to love yourself and how to start the journey. I am really, really so grateful for every golden nugget that you have shared today. Any last words?
I would say lastly, thank you so much, Mary, for having me here and for everyone who's been joining. I would say that one thing that we touched upon a little bit that is so easily that we forget is that remember that this is your journey, that whoever is in your environment and whatever has been, and even if you, when we talked about the boundaries, you have never said no to something that you have to begin to start saying no, you have the right to change. You have the right to begin as many times as you have to. No one else can deny it for you than you. And it always starts with the decision. We don't always get to choose how fast and how everything unfolds in which ways. Usually we don't, but you have the right. No one else can decide a new beginning from you than you. And you begin as many times as you have to, but keep on going and don't compare. It is your journey. And where we drift away is to other people. Where we drift away, where we are like, you know, hesitant, is because other people, no matter how much we love them and want to have connection, we have to begin connection with ourselves. Because if we don't, then we always find ourselves comparing and trying to figure out how we should be through others. And that is what is there in the world. That's why give yourself time, practice, and get to know yourself little by little. Have fun with it. Don't try to ditch the fear and get excited. That's what I would say. And you have so much to look forward to. And the best is yet to come. That's like my final words.
That's so beautifully said. I like what African Dreaming he said, yes, this is definitely our individual journey. And it couldn't be well summarized. And especially, I love it that the best is yet to come. But you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to make it happen. And so everything depends on that one decision. You are just one decision away to connect, to know yourself, to connect with yourself, and to
Mm.
gain your own success. Just one decision away. Your willingness to become your best version. And always remember the best is yet to come. I want to
Yes.
thank you so much.
I want to
I
say
know,
one more thing.
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I want you to go and sleep, but we can stay as long as you want.
No, no, no. It's okay. I wanted to say because this is the whole key that we are connecting. What you're connecting and what is uniting us all is love. That is the whole point. You're connecting back to love with yourself, and that's what we all want. That is uniting us all, but it's individual journey, and that's what I wanted to say because that is like what makes the world spin around is love, and that's what you are connecting back to, and it's all begins with you. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. So, guys, for those in the chat and those who are going to watch the replay, if you want more in-depth conversation with Sanna, you can get a copy of the book. You can connect with Sanna. I have all her social media connections in the description below this video. Connect with Sanna. You are not going to really have a boring time because she is a powerhouse to shift your mindset, to help you remove all those limiting beliefs that have been stopping you from connecting with yourself, from knowing you, and from becoming your own best friend. And all she does of all of this is because of the firm conviction that the
Yes,
best
this is
is yet
yet
to
to
come.
come.
Thank
Yeah,
you, everyone. You are welcome. Warm
thank
strong.
you.
This was a very interesting conversation. You can go and watch the replay, and thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone in the chat. I'm sorry if I didn't mention all of you. I acknowledge everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. I love you.
I
You're
love
awesome.
you.
Oh.